Hi guys. As some of you might know, I just got back from holiday, and this year I got 2 days to go record shopping. So picked up a lot of things. I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of the shops, found some new places which I'm really pleased about, and also found some apps. Well, one place that's supposed to be really good was just dreadful. So I certainly won't be going back there in a hurry. Beforehand, there was the record fair. I didn't get as much stuff as I thought shifted. Really, it was a lot of the not so good stuff. The weird, sort of like Father Abraham and the Smurfs sold. I had John Denver and the Muppets. That sold. But the good stuff didn't, which was bizarre. Anyway, I did pick up a couple of things while I was there. I got Loving Spoonball's Greatest Hits, which is a band I didn't have anything by. It's a later reissue, but I kind of enjoyed this. I liked it, Sunshine Pop, and like I said, I didn't have anything by then, so I was pleased to get that. Another one which I picked up, which I didn't really know anything about, was this by a called Audience. It's called The House on the Hill, and there was something that struck me about the cover. But I first looked at it, I thought, wow, it looked a bit 80s and terrible. And then there was something about it that I just thought, that looks familiar. And then I realised why it looks familiar. It's because it's done by Hypnosis, which did all the Pink Floyd stuff and various other bands. It's got that same kind of washed out look to it. And then I noticed that it was on Charisma. So I snapped it up, and this is really good. This is a later reissue on the Blue Charisma label, but it sounds great, and it's definitely something that I might try and find a better copy of, because I'm really getting into my Charisma stuff at the moment. So that was a good turn up. I also got this, which is an Apple single. I collect the Apple singles, but the ones with the actual Apple catalog numbers, as opposed to the parlophone catalog numbers. So the ones that are maybe like this one's Apple 13, as opposed to the ones that are like R556 or whatever. So anyway, when I was in Edinburgh, I gave myself a budget, and I took the record mailer that I actually got from Jimmy. I thought that was good and sturdy to put my records in when they were travelling up in the boot of the car. So I knew I had a kind of limited money and space, so I picked up a few singles. Again, this one's Badfinger, and the Mary Hopkin one. They were only maybe £1 each, but they were ones that I didn't have. I picked up this 7-inch of Joan Baez. The main reason I got this is because it has her version of It's All Over Now Baby Blue on it, which is one of my favourite songs. Love the Dylan version, love the 13th Floor Elevators version, so I'm quite interested to hear that. And I picked up this, which is Julie Driscoll, Brian Auburn, Trinity, with their version of Wheels on Fire. I didn't have anything on Marmalade label, and this one came with a really nice original picture sleeve and good, like the company sleeve. So this will go in my box of late 60s. Good 7 inches. So onto the albums. One of the first ones I picked up was this, which is the first album by Cockney Rebel. They released 2 albums as Cockney Rebel before they basically the band decided got fed up with Steve Harvey being a bit egotistical, and ultimately it changed to being Steve Harvey and Cockney Rebel, and Cockney Rebel was just whoever could get to play with him, pretty much. But this is their first proper album. So a bit bold. The reason I wanted this is for track here, Sebastian, which is just an amazing song. And anyone who's had that kind of teenage angst, I definitely recommend listening to this. I don't think they're very big in the States. I think they did a UK tour. They maybe subsequently did when like Come Up and See Me and Mr. Soft. But their earlier stuff is much better. It's, I suppose you could probably class them as glam, but really they're a bit more interesting than just straight glam. I don't, if I remember rightly, yeah, they don't have a lead guitarist. If you look at the instruments, you've got Steve Harley on vocals, and then percussion, bass, keyboards, and most of their lead, what would be guitar, is actually done on like violin and mandolin. There is some guitar, but mainly violin, mandolin, and things. So they've got a bit more of a different sound, a bit more, I don't want to say proggy, but maybe a bit more proggy than your standard glam band. I picked up this as an album I've wanted for a long time. Power Plant by the Golden Dawn. This was one of their original albums released on the International Artists label. This is a reissue on the Decal label, which is a label I like. I've got a lot of my other international artist stuff is on that Decal label. I think my Bobby Poppy albums on Decal, and certainly my 13th Floor Elevators is on Decal as well. I'm looking forward to hear this. I just got back from holiday last night, so I've not had a chance to listen to a lot of this yet, but this was one that's been on my radar for some time. I picked up Dive Deep by Quintessence. If anyone remembers, a few months ago I got Quintessence's self-titled album, and I loved it. So I'm hoping for more of the same from this one. This is on Island. It's got this really nice inner sleeve. And this is on the Pink Rim label. But again, like I said, I've not had a chance to listen to this yet. But if it's anything like the other one, it's going to be really good. The other albums is kind of a mixture of psychedelic guitar freakouts and Hare Krishna music. So how could that possibly be anything but bad? Good. the same shop, I picked up this Dave Mason album. This was pretty cheap, and I heard about Dave Mason, and I'm actually going to show this in Dr. Deadwax's competition, because it's on Blue Thumb, so it's my first Blue Thumb. Again, I don't know too much about this, but it looked pretty good. So if anybody has any knowledge of this, let me know. I think Dave Mason was in Traffic. I think, could be wrong, but I think that's where I've heard of it before. Another album that I wanted for a long time. This is the first Jethro Tull album, called This Was. As you can see, this is a laminate sleeve. It's not an original eyeball label, but it's pink eye as opposed to the pink eyeball. But yeah, good kind of blues rock. This was obviously being their first album, this was the original lineup, I think. I think this is Nick Abrams here, went on to left Jethro Tull, I think, after this, and went on to form Blog and Pig, because he wasn't so keen in the more proggy kind of way that Jethro Tull was going, and he was more of a blues rocker. So yeah, I'm really pleased to have this finally. Picked up this as well. This is Deep Purple's second album. It's great. I'm a big fan of Mark 1 and 2 Deep Purple. Well, in fact, I love all Deep Purple up to kind of Deep Purple in rock, and then after that, I'm not so keen. But their first three albums, this one, Deep Purple, and Shades of Deep Purple, all fantastic. Then the Concerto for Group and Orchestra is brilliant as well. I love that album. And Deep Purple in rock is just obviously a classic. After that, I'm not quite so keen. So this just leaves the self-titled one for me to get now. Clipboard sleeve, then in the studio. It's just a kind of pretty standard harvest label. But that was something marked off my wants list. That's kind of what I went for when I was doing this time. I wanted to get things that I wanted for a long time. I picked this up, which is the amazing Blondell. Anyone remembers Mark Dr. Deadwax showing this a while ago, and he described it as kind of medieval or Renaissance prog, I think was what he called it. And I said, oh, if you like that, maybe try Griffin. So I sent him the Griffin album. But this had already always kind of stuck in my head. So I saw it and picked the copy up. This is, again, gatefold sleeve. There seems to be a theme with my trip away this time, because this is on Island, Pinkman, Island label. So there's a lot of island things bought while I was away this time. But again, I'm kind of looking forward to this. He didn't think it was maybe musicianship-wise as good as the Griffin one, but I'm still quite interested. Again, I got this pretty cheap, So I'm really looking forward to hearing that. Which leaves one album, which I think is the album I spent most money on, and well, I can't say it's the one I like best, but because I haven't heard a lot of these yet, but it's one of my favourite albums. Is this the Incredible String Band, Weetan and Big Huge. It's maybe not in the greatest shape. Get old. The shop had it on display, and they had the spine bent that way, so it was picture cover on the outside, so the spine's a bit knackered, whereas this is the way it's supposed to be with the writing on the outside. It's kind of reversed to what you would think, and you'd think it would be the picture. But the reason I bought this is it's an original mono with the big Electra label, which I love. But there was a bit of a sad story with it, in that this was its price ticket. Original Incredible String Band, Weetan, Big Huge, original mono 2LP, previously owned by Mike Heron. And if anyone remembers my trip to Edinburgh last year, they'll remember I saw these and was very tempted. And to my surprise, when I went back down this year, it was still there. So I bought it. He said that Mike Heron, he felt kind of sorry for Mike Heron when he came in selling his copies of his own records. But he obviously needed the money for something. He also said he didn't have the heart to ask him to sign them, which is a shame. It would have been great if it had been signed, but then also it would have been a lot more expensive, I imagine. I didn't pay any more for this than you would expect to pay for it. In fact, I've seen it sell for on eBay for a lot more than I paid for this one. The discs are in great shape. Like I said, the sleeves a bit worn, but it's such a good album. This, I think, is possibly my favourite. This and The Hangman's Beautiful Daughter are just two phenomenally good albums. So yeah, so that was my trip to Edinburgh. My little haul, keep me going for a few days. And the other news, actually, which I got is I am no longer going to be working in the records stop. As some of you know, I had my hours cut at the start of the year to a point which made it impossible to justify as my only source of employment. So I have been looking for jobs, other ones, kind of part-time jobs, really to make up the hours, but nothing seemed to fit. So I am going to go back and work as a postman, which I really enjoyed last time I did it. So hopefully it'll be the same again. So anyway, that's nearly 20 minutes. So the longest video I've ever made. So thanks for watching. As always, I'd love to hear your comments. I hope everyone's doing fine. This new job might mean I can't do as many videos, but I don't know. Take care.